1 Peter 1:8, it says, though you have not seen him, you love him. Even though you do not see him now, you believe in him and are filled with an inexpressible and glorious joy, for you are receiving the end result of your faith, the salvation of your souls. And Ricky opened our time together, the motivation of heaven. And I just love you to speak to a little bit. How do you think heaven should affect our earthly ministry?
Well, I think it should affect it profoundly in that the life that we have here is an opportunity to invest. Now, you're either going to invest your life in things that don't matter and won't last, or your relationships with people in ways that don't matter. The people matter, but we've got to think in terms of eternity. And the analogy that I use is the dot and the line. Our life on earth is a dot. It begins, it ends, it's brief. Our present life on earth, okay? As Ricky pointed out, we get the old man hands and then we die. If you're a man, I guess you get old woman hands if you're a man, or whatever. But anyway, so then that's, okay, so that's coming. Okay, but that's just the end of the dot. From that dot proceeds a line that goes out forever and never ends. And if you know Jesus, if you've been saved, if you have been redeemed by the blood of Christ, your dot will move into this line. So, we have no choice but to live in the dot. We all live in the dot. We all live in this life. But if we're smart, we won't live our lives primarily for the dot. We'll live for the line that goes on forever, so that we will look at divine appointments and opportunities, and you're stalled in traffic and you meet somebody somewhere at a store that you wouldn't have met otherwise. You bump into somebody at Costco where there's this thing of, well, I'm really busy, I need to move on. You think, no, Lord, you've got me here. This is not an accident. I bumped into this person. At very least, I can pray for them and talk to them and encourage them, and maybe a door is open. And if I live in my life here, in the dot, in light of the line, then I don't have to think all the time, oh, this bad thing happened and my day was really messed up. I can think, God is a God of providence. In his sovereign plan, he has me where I'm at, and there's an opportunity to minister here, to have conversation, to build relationships. So it doesn't mean that for your life to count for eternity, you have to be a pastor or in full-time Christian service or a missionary or a Christian musician or whatever. It's whatever you do, you are uniquely called to do that thing, to honor him and glorify him. And then you're living in the dot, but you're living in the dot for the line. I see Marlene out there, who we met at Cheeseburger in Paradise like 5 years ago, had a conversation, and I was leaving a booklet, which I usually do, that's got the gospel in it, and then she realizes we're believers, and we start having a conversation. Later was able to send her some books, and she graciously came up and gave us a hug today. And though that's a small thing, I mean, how much effort really does that take? And yet God can use those things in our lives, just like he used her coming up to us and thanking us and hugging us today in our lives.